Moving to Tampa? Don't do it. Not yet. Until you watch this.
The reason for that is because we've seen too many people literally pack up their entire lives, head on down to Florida, and not understand what the cost of living is like or what neighborhoods to settle in.
So what if I can move down here with total confidence? I know exactly where to go, what to do.
And that's what today's episode is all about. We're going to talk all about the hype of what is Tampa Bay.
We're gonna get down and dirty.
Yep.
I'll tell you, Chris, I'm originally, as you know, from New York.
Yep.
And I wouldn't change this ever in my moving down to Tampa was probably one of the biggest decisions in my life, and I have no regrets about it.
Yeah, me either. You know, born and raised Queens, love New York, wear it on my sleeves every single day, but that doesn't mean I don't get to enjoy other finer things in life. You get what I'm saying? So that's what's important to you, and you're ready to make that move down to sunny Tampa, Florida, or just Florida in general, then stay tuned.
We're gonna get into it. Hey there, I'm Roy Abdo. I am your real estate strategic partner, part of the Key Group, brokered by eXp Realty.
And I'm Chris Alfaro, a realtor with said Key Group, brokered by eXp Realty.
Our channel is all about providing tips, model walkthroughs. We wanna make sure you move with confidence and really understand what your best options are. We're really good at negotiating the best deal for you. Mm-hmm. So if you're finding this content to be very informative, please do us a favor. We're on a journey to get 1,000 subscribers. And it'll mean the world to us if you hit the like button, subscribe, pass it forward to someone that you feel would find great value in this content. Because I would encourage us to create more great benefits to offer you at home.
Absolutely. And if you're considering a move to the Tampa Bay area, stay tuned. We have more information for you.
All our contact information is down below. So give us a ring. We would love to represent you and show you the way, educate you throughout this whole entire process, and empower you to make the right move. All right, Chris, we're going to go into tip number 1, and it's probably the most common question we get asked here. Let's talk about cost of living. Mm-hmm. What does that usually look like here in Florida, or very specifically the Tampa Bay market?
Well, it depends, because if you're comparing Tampa to its neighbor, Orlando, or further south, the 305, the Miami, for those of my...
I don't know just what happened.
Then Tampa Bay is extremely cheaper than said Miami, and that is very, very helpful. But recent studies, yes.
Or information.
Yeah, definitely shows that Tampa and Orlando are actually very, very comparable. So one thing I like to tell everyone is it all depends on you. It all depends on what your lifestyle is, what exactly you're looking for. If I can give you a tip, Tampa is actually closer to the beaches. It's actually away from, said dangers. Orlando's more in the central part of the state. And so Tampa is more towards the edge. We talk about hurricane season. Tampa is kind of really situated in a great spot away from said dangers. That is the answer to that one.
I would agree. Cost of living, to me, when you kind of look at the major cities, you could even include Jacksonville as probably the 4th major city in Florida. And then you also got like the big school cities over in Tallahassee, those FSU fans. But when you kind of look at Tampa, there's been a big migration because a lot of merged people here because a lot of great jobs. And we'll talk about that a little bit later as well. Yeah. So hang tight as we talk about that. Yeah. But when you compare major cities like New York, California, San Francisco, LA, there is a proven article that it is 62% more expensive to live in New York, very specifically.
Yeah.
And when you think about it, New York has, depending where you live, you have state tax, you have city tax. We don't have those things here.
Yeah.
Not here in Tampa.
Yeah.
We don't. And that's money in your pocket.
We're talking about homes. When it comes to homes, you get a tremendous for the money you're getting. And that explains the influx of, people from all over the country who moved down to Florida just recently, who are able to buy literally cash out with the money that they've had in their previous home, in their previous state. And so it is evident, obviously, that cost of living is definitely different and a lot better than some other parts of the tree.
Yeah, let's not forget about property taxes, right? Because we're talking specifically about real estate. It is the lowest in the nation when you look at the averages out there. Right now, our Governor DeSantis is actually talking about removing property taxes. So that's in the works. It seems like it's going to be more than just a political saying. It's in the topic of conversation. So it may be gone. When you're watching this, it might be gone. Today is not. It is a hot topic.
Yes.
That could potentially moved. So that could be another benefit of why you want to move to the state of Florida. Or specifically in Tampa Bay.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know the specifics on, the property taxes being removed, what that would look like from a numbers perspective. Because property taxes, as we know, it's super, super important in terms of what it provides for your said, municipality. But going back to the, insurance premiums, they range here anywhere between, high 2000s to maybe $8,000, but it all depends on where you are in the state and how big of a home that you have. And so you got to budget for that and make sure that you shop around and make sure you get several different opinions when it comes to your homeowners insurance, because that's super important.
Yeah. So insurance could definitely be higher, specifically in the coastal line. But we have some great brokers that focus on insurance that could really help out. So let's connect. Let's talk on that topic if that's a concern for you, and put that in the estimates of finding out exactly what it would cost for you.
Yeah, absolutely.
Tip number 2, one of my favorite things to talk about is neighborhoods and how many options you have out here in Tampa, because they're very different as you come across the Tampa Bay market. What are your thoughts?
If you want that California beach life and things of that nature, and that's who you are on your inside, then St. Pete and Clearwater are the great places for you. They have the art scene. So they have a great bar life down there. By the way, just wanted to mention that. They got the famous pier, which is a great place to, obviously, I think, honestly, to take really, really good pictures. And the Dali Museum is amazing. For those of you who don't know, look it up. It's a really great place.
That's definitely one of my favorite. You'll probably see some images come across of some of Dali's art. To tell you the truth, some of the images that we have here are inspired by Dali. The actual artist's name is Create. He's out of the 305.
Yes, he is. Yes, he is.
So shout out to Create, because he makes some special art.
Yes.
But you see essence of Dali and his inspiration as he comes up with a lot of these paintings.
Yeah.
So like Chris said, St. Pete is to me like kind of an art deco, not like South Beach. It has this unique kind of places, which is really, if you go up to Clearwater, it probably has one of the most amazing sunsets as you actually go along the whole entire beach side. They also got Pier 60, which they often do a lot of different kind of celebrations at night.
Yeah, absolutely.
As well. Definitely recommend some place you want to take the family to. I would usually go to St. Pete Beach. Clearwater, I would say, is probably more of a younger college crowd. Doesn't mean you can't take your family, because I definitely go out there as well. Yeah. But each beach kind of has a different vibe and feel depending on what you like.
Yeah. Yeah. And if you're like me, I love the beach, but I don't like to be by it, and you're a family, then you might want to consider the interior part of the Tampa Bay area. Further up north, we have the Wesley Chapel area, which is a huge booming and then further inward from the Tampa Bay area, we also have Riverview, we have Gibsonton, a lot of different areas. And then shooting back up to Wesley Chapel, you have great communities. We have 2 large lagoon communities. One is Epperson, the other one is Murata, and everything you could want literally on every corner. And so if that is what you're looking for, then again, Tampa has something for everyone.
Yeah, it's very, very different. I think Wesley Chapel is kind of mostly known for one of the biggest suburbs here in the Tampa Bay area. But as Chris mentioned, you move up a little bit, you have the Epperson Lagoon, which is still considered Wesley Chapel. If you go to the opposite side, Murata's there, and that's in San Antonio. You could go all the way across to Lander Lakes, and it puts you about 30 minutes from downtown Tampa. And you have Angeline there, which is one of the newest communities. And their focus over there is farm life, having everything grown in-house. So if you're someone who wants to start planting and start creating your food, or having some chickens to plant your eggs and make your eggs, Angeline is probably something you want to see. And then all these communities are having like really big companies and health care providers come in and build
a lot of facilities.
some good career opportunities, specifically in the health care sector, which I highly recommend. And then you have Lutz as well, which is a very booming area as well. A lot of restaurants that are coming up.
And believe it or not, historic. Lutz is very, very historic. Yeah. They plan to tell you as you're driving through it. There's like little plaques that say we've been around since I think it's like 1800 something. So Lutz is a very historic area. A lot of people don't realize it, and it's one of those really, really good areas with great schooling, really good population, and up and coming as well. And then you mentioned downtown. Downtown, if you're looking for that city street life. The downtown Tampa area, it's not compared to, like, let's say the New York City skyline or something in LA, but it is a downtown feel. You've got some high rises there. You have a very, very good nightlife as well there.
Yeah, I mean, that downtown Channel Side, the Riverwalk area.
Yep.
I often go out there with my families. I don't have families. I have a family.
Good to clarify. Good to clarify.
Like a lot of people describing kind of be the not necessarily the next Miami, but what is that town down there in Miami? Brickell. Yeah. So Brickell's being not Brickell, but the Sparkman area is being described as the Brickell, the up and coming Brickell area.
Yeah, I mean, I see it. I definitely see it because like I said, there's a tremendous amount of money being invested in there. There's been proposals for like new teams being brought in. They even thought about bringing in the Tampa Bay Rays over there, which I thought was a terrible idea. But it is, as you can see, there's people making ideas of wanting to, juice up that area. And so the high-rise living, if that's something for you, if that's something you would like, then the downtown area is going to be, spot on perfect. Tip number 3. So let's talk about the Florida weather, which is in some cases the elephant in the room because you either are used to it or you're not.
Sunshine, I love it. Now let's talk about the heat and humidity.
That's what I was talking about.
It's not necessarily the best.
Your summers are hot, they are humid, and if you're like me, I sweat just by thinking. The humidity will definitely get you. But you tend to kind of get used to it in the sense of your time frames. All right. You could do your early morning workouts. Don't you dare go outside after 12 o'clock. Wait till at least the afternoon in order for you to do things. The great thing is Florida has central air. And so every place you go, whether it be a mall, your car, your home, an office, it's fully air conditioned. So if you don't have to work outside, then hallelujah. But if you work outside, I will pray for you because it is really hot. The humidity is something that normally an issue with, but for the most part, Florida weather is great. You do have to deal with, especially in the summer, what I like to call the bipolar rainstorms because it'll be beautiful at 2 o'clock in the afternoon and it'll start downpouring, and I mean downpouring for a good 30 minutes, and then it's gone. It's all gone. So if you're caught in the rain outside, you might actually enjoy it because you've actually cooled your temperatures down. But it is something to get used to.
Listen, my routine is probably not for everyone, but I'm definitely part of the 5 a.m. gym club. I gotta be there at 5 a.m., get my workout in. And if you're an outdoor person, you definitely want to get that run in the morning. And then the afternoon, it's definitely by the pool. You definitely got to get that sunscreen on.
Yeah.
But that vitamin D really helps out. Just the performance in your day, gives you a little midday break. Jump in the pool, relax a little bit. So I really love that perspective of it. And like Chris mentioned, the afternoon thunderstorms, sometimes it's cool and sometimes like really right now. And sometimes it rains so hard, you literally got to pull over. No jokes. It is really, really bad and it can become dangerous. So highly recommend you pull over. The seasons I talk about in Florida, right?
Yeah.
That's it in a nutshell. Is something that we have to be very, very aware about. Now, let's talk about hurricane season because that is the real actual danger. We've been, knock on wood, fortunate for the Tampa Bay area. We haven't been hit in over 100 years.
Yeah.
But the success about hurricanes.
Let's not say that too loud.
That's not. That's why I'm knocking on wood. We've been incredibly fortunate to not be a direct hit. We've had a couple close calls. Funny story, Chris, but a couple years ago, we were being forewarned for a direct hit here in Tampa. And at that time, I'm like, talk to family. I'm like, let's just get out of here. Let's not even deal with it. And funny enough, we went to Disney, and guess where it went? The hurricane went to Orlando, and it was a direct hit. We stayed in one of the beautiful resorts. And honestly, beyond knowing the chaos of what Disney did a great job, by the way, Disney, of shutting down the park and making sure everyone had food and water. Throughout the night, I didn't feel nothing. I woke up and I walked outside and I saw all the trees down. It came after us.
Wow.
But came back home, nothing's in the house. We gotta stay at home.
We did get some trees and stuff and local flooding, especially those low-lying areas, but it was definitely one of those hurricanes that scared the bejesus out of me, because effectively, when you know the path that is coming, or at least you can think about it, because even weathermen don't know exactly where it's going to go, it definitely will scare the hell out of you. I guess it's all about perspective. So if you're in it, you know what it's all about. It's like us being New Yorkers. We were used to the cold. We were used to, you know, you're getting on the train. We knew we were going to see some stuff, but somebody who's not from there, you get on the train, you're freaked out. We're just like, oh, that's normal. What are you talking about? Just keep your head down and keep going. So the same thing happens with hurricane season. So usually from June all the way to, I want to say December 1st is the official cutoff. You know, thankfully, again, this year we've had nothing but great blue sky. Do get some residual, some of that stuff, but not all the time.
Yeah, I'll tell you what I really love about it, and you kind of hinted to this earlier, but it's really how the community comes together. I think in moments of crisis, honestly, any big crisis that kind of happens across the world, we come together to support each other.
Yes.
So from giving out food drives, giving out food, water, for hydration, clothing.
Yes.
The community does an amazing job of coming together.
Yeah.
And making sure we're supporting each other, especially if you're in need. I mean, if you're not in need, you're usually out there supporting the people that are in need.
Yeah.
I think that's one of the things that highlights just the community feel that we have out here in Florida.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And then also one thing I want to mention is the state of Florida during hurricane season, you're able to purchase what are considered hurricane items and you don't get taxed on it. I think that's a huge thing. So anything from batteries to, non-perishable goods, your waters. So if you're purchasing these things, you don't get taxed on it, because obviously these are life-saving things. So the most important things you got to worry about, are your insurance, your evacuation plan, if you have one, and then your hurricane kits. So, I would recommend that you purchase those things throughout the year, so that way you're not scrambling towards the end.
If you're a homeowner, I would think of a power source backup, right? Mm-hmm. So a generator, if you happen to have an EV car, what does that power share wall look like in your home? So you want to have some kind of system to make sure you're backed up.
And then during those particular months, if you go to the Gulf of Mexico, which is where the beautiful beaches are at, the water, it's like 80, 90 degrees. It feels like bath water. It feels great. You still get to cool down. So don't think, 80-degree water is, hot. It is, but you get to at least enjoy it. You're not freezing your butt off normally on the Atlantic side.
Yeah, it's awesome. Tip number 4, let's shift gears, talk about the job market and the economics of Tampa Bay.
Mm-hmm. Right. And the Wall Street Journal actually gave Tampa one of the top job markets in the country. And so that's super exciting, because you got healthcare, you have tech, you have finance that's here. I mean, huge market for jobs. So that's really, really a good thing for someone that's, moving into this city.
Yeah, like when you look at finance, Raymond James is one of the big finance.
Yes.
For healthcare, Advantage Health, Tampa General Hospital,
the Moffitt Cancer Center.
There's some really big hitters that are making some moves, and tourism is huge for us.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, and don't forget, always, we mentioned it earlier, there's no income tax. And so that means more bang for your buck when it comes to that. So that Florida money. No state income tax is huge. It's huge when you come down here. Not to erase the number that you have in your head as far as what you would like to make yearly, but just remember that when taxes are, either reduced or they're not as high as what you're used to, you're going to go a lot further when it comes to what you bring in monthly.
Yeah, I think also when you kind of look at remote work, a lot of people, instead of like your standard 3-2, are probably considering a 4-2 or a 5-2, right? Yeah. When you kind of look at next generation living, they might want the 6th bedroom. And one of the biggest reasons is because they're typically converting one of the rooms to a home office, or studio, to get some work done. Yeah,
you're seeing that a lot. People are converting a large number of their homes, sections of their house, to accommodate for, remote work, because that's the new America, right? We have a lot of remote workers, and then we have obviously those that are still going to work, or people that have hybrid situations, and you need a space in your house that's going to accommodate that. So, definitely a plus there.
When you look at Now there's a new Midtown, which is the thought process there is you live, eat, and sleep there, and you work there.
Yeah.
So you have your housing, you go down the elevator, you go your food shopping at Whole Foods or Publix.
Yep.
Then you kind of go up, and then you go work in your office.
Yep.
And then you go across street on the rooftop bar and enjoy your nightly cap.
It's a very good situation. So if you live in that Midtown area, God bless you, because boy, it is really, really nice. You know, when it comes to the food, it's not, major brands. It's, mom and pops, places that are really, really good places to eat. The scene is very, very nice, very tranquil. And you get to have the best of both worlds. You get to work, you get to play, and enjoy your nightlife at the same time. There's a place for everyone here in terms of job, in terms of scenic nightlife, in terms of ambiance. I mean, you have it all here in Tampa.
Yeah, absolutely.
Tip number 5, those of you with families, with kids, are always asking about the schools. And so huge areas, especially, I would say, Pasco County has one of the top rated, schools around.
Absolutely.
You talk about Hillsborough County. Hillsborough County has great magnet schools, great schools all around as well. You can even consider private and charter schools. Those are huge here in Florida. And so we have a mixture of a lot of different things for a lot of different people. So depending on what you're looking for, my kids are actually going to a STEM school. And that's, for those of you who don't know, STEM is a science, technology, engineering, and I think math school. I think that's what STEM said. Correct me in the comments if I'm wrong. And so they focus on those 4 pillars. And so that's really great. They get to learn a tremendous amount. They actually get guided throughout their middle school and high school years into a career choice if that's what they're looking for. And so I wanted to set my kids up for that little, bit of success kind of early, wishing that I had that when I was a kid. And so that prepares them when you have a really good focus on one of those 4 pillars.
The weather also plays into, if you happen to be into sports, because you have warm weather year round.
Yes.
So for example, you could play baseball year round, right? For parents, please do your research.
Yeah.
Find out what's going on. I'm going to share a couple websites for you guys. A couple of websites are greatschools.org, or go to the Florida DOE site to make sure you dig into some of the results there. And of course, when you let us know what's important to you, we will be able to happily dig in and do some of the work for you guys. As Chris mentioned, we made some life choices and moved to help our kids' education.
Absolutely.
Right? One of my boys specifically is going to the same STEM school, which is amazing. Would highly recommend it. And then the other one's going to a private school where he's taking advantage of we thought it was going to be performance. He's actually into sports now.
Yeah.
Which is a complete shocker, and it's okay. But
yeah,
the things we do to support our kids, but there's some amazing schools here in the state of Florida.
Yeah, and when you think about it even further down the line, for those who have, older children who are now going to college, also remember, Florida has a really large amount of great colleges, not just in the Tampa Bay area, but just in Florida in general. And so the main school we have here is USF, a great school. Orlando has UCF, which is University of Central Florida. You also have Florida University, and further up north in Tallahassee at the Capitol, you got Florida State. Further down south, you have Miami University, you have FIT. There's just a tremendous amount of colleges here. Oh, and also in Tampa, we have Tampa University, which is, if you walk in there, it's its own little city. It's amazing. If you are on what I would like to call the back end of not your children's scholastic career, but now, your children are a little bit older, but you're still looking to move into the Tampa Bay area or just Florida in general, just understand you have great universities and schools here as well. Options.
Tip number 6, lifestyle and things to do in Tampa Bay.
Yes.
I gotta tell you, Tampa Bay is fun. I'll be honest with you, probably I've had some different experiences versus when I lived in New York. I have a lot of first ofs when I was in Tampa, but I gotta poke at you because I know you're a big fan of different sport teams than Tampa.
Yes.
But we're in Champion Bay, baby.
The Tampa Bay Lightning, their credit,
Hey, I give the Bucks some credit because we had number 12.
Yes. You did win the Super Bowl, and everybody went nuts, and it was great.
And the race came close. Gotta give them credit.
Yes.
Stadium is in shambles. Yeah. They're playing at Steinbrenner Field now. Still got hope for the Little Rays to kind of do something.
I mean, hopefully it does. It does. Hopefully it motivates them, because again, Tampa's a great city for sports in general. Very dedicated, group. And so if you can get the Tampa Bay Ray fan to, obviously get its own stadium. The
Trop is down.
The Trop is down based off of last year's, hurricane that passed through. It wasn't a direct hit, so don't take me out of context here. But the high winds that came by, kind of did some damage on the building, and so
that roof was not solid.
Yeah,
let's just be real.
It wasn't at all. So this gives the Tampa Bay Rays an opportunity to kind of, look for a location, something where the centralized, person that's from Tampa, that's a fan of the baseball team, can actually go and enjoy the sport.
Let's talk about food. Let's talk about Cuban sandwiches. There's the big controversy. Which is the real Cuban sandwich? Does it have salami or does it not have salami?
I mean, I know fact, and I've heard this from Cubans who have been either born here or are from here. The Cuban sandwich is originally Tampa. So the one that's in Miami or the ones that's all around, maybe in Orlando, I don't know. But you guys let me know in the comments. Apparently the original Cuban sandwich, which was created here, is from Tampa.
And it has salami. Sorry, guys.
Yeah. And don't come for me, Cubans from Miami. I see you looking at me, 305.
So I just feel like what they do down here and the opportunities you have a lot more things. So,
yeah.
Fun fact, very often what happens is, because of cost of living is more affordable down here, major cities usually travel with their football team and come down. So we've seen like big Baltimore buses supporting the Ravens come down. Let's not keep the Bucks quiet, because they represent and they show up in their stadium.
Oh yeah.
And they fill that stadium up. But it just gives you, again, things that you could possibly do. So if you're coming, most people that are coming from out of state, they have all these different opportunities to do different things.
Yeah.
If you haven't been to a Lightning game or a hockey game, you got to go to Amalie Arena. I think that's the name it has now. It might have changed.
It's the Benchmark. So they keep, I don't know why they keep changing it, but it's now called the Benchmark.
Tampa has focused a lot on expanding their highways to make sure it could feed those facilities when there's major arteries of traffic kind of coming across together.
Yeah.
So we also have a rush hour, but it's not rush hour like New York rush hour, or even Orlando. I think Orlando has pretty decent traffic unless you're on I-4. I would stay up away from I-4. But other than that, I think overall Tampa, there's tons of things to do. All right, let's ask you some questions. If you had to choose, why don't we pick something Mexican? What would be a Mexican place that you would try, or a steakhouse?
I mean, if you're talking steakhouses, you got to go to Burns, right? I mean, come on.
I agree.
That's like the staple of Tampa. I mean, from the outside, you would never think it's because it's in a very peculiar place, and you could pass by it very, very quickly because it automatically just say Burns. And so if you're from Tampa, you know exactly where it is. If you're not from Tampa, you're going to have a little bit trying to find it. But thank God we have GPSs now, right? So you can find it fairly quickly now. But Burns Steakhouse, hands down, probably one of the best, if not the best steakhouse place. And then if I can piggyback off of that, I'm a huge, huge fan of South Tampa, Olivia's. Olivia's is just, oh my God. It is probably one of the best restaurants I've ever been.
He just
in.
like skewed a different way. I didn't even ask about Italian.
Yeah, I know. I mentioned them, and they're not paying me for this, but if you want to.
But I couldn't agree with you anymore. Burns has one of the biggest wine cellars. Have some amazing wine in there. Some of the best aged steaks. And if you go to Burns to eat, you gotta go upstairs and go to the dessert room. It is a must.
It is mouth-watering.
So tons of things to do, from sports to restaurants. Some great events for families. We didn't even talk about Busch Gardens, which is just an amazing amusement park. If you like roller coasters, there's tons of things to do there.
It's literally considered a backyard because it's in our backyard. You don't think about it, but it's right there. It's right in the middle of what you would consider centralized Tampa Bay. It's amazing. You can, take your kids out on an afternoon late in the day at 5 o'clock, knowing that the park is at 9 or 10 o'clock. Not exactly sure of the times, but you can have a great afternoon going to Busch Gardens. And here's another thing that a lot of people don't mention about Tampa, and I'm surprised we didn't mention it either, but local breweries. Tampa is known, huge market of locals that make their own beer here, and I think they're amazing. For those of you that don't like the big brands, you're kind of tired of it and you want to try something different, these Florida brews, they're really, really good.
In St. Pete, I specifically enjoy Three Daughters. They have a great selection of beer there, and I think where they make their beer, they have some seasonal ones which are pretty cool.
Yeah.
And they also have an area where you can hang out and kind of drink some beer or enjoy some outdoor games.
Yeah. It's so hot outside, you want to have a beer, because it'll cool you down. So definitely check those places out.
Absolutely.
Tip number 7 is community and culture. And one of the things I really love about Tampa is the ability to meet new people very, very quickly. Tampa is full of what we like to call transplants, right? And so that scene can get very, very entertaining very, very quickly.
Some of the major events that really involves community is called Gasparilla, and that's where the ships back then invaded Tampa Bay. So there's a celebration out there, and honestly, it's tons of fun. There's an adult version, there's a kids version, there's also a night version. So depending on where you want to be, and what kind of style you want to enjoy, it's a great way to meet different people as well.
I like Gasparilla. I have the in the past, I was working in the downtown area, and so it's a very big event. And so what the mayor likes to do in the city of Tampa, they actually have a huge float that is a ship, and they go around the downtown Tampa area, literally blaring, obviously, fake cannons and making these sounds as if Tampa is being invaded again by these pirates. And that's why the team, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, is a pirate. And I thought it was pretty cool because the mayor gets in on the fun, the chief of police gets in on the fun, and it's so pretty cool to be a part of that. And it's a great event for kids. It's almost, to me, it's almost like a miniature version of what happens in New Orleans with
Mardi
Gras. And so they throw beads.
I wouldn't go that crazy.
No, it's a much smaller. I mean, much more smaller.
The adults, you might get a flash not.
Right.
Just forewarning you right now.
But it's something like that in terms of like the city coming together and kind of embracing their culture of how it was inspired and brought together. So I thought that's pretty cool. And then also you have Ybor City. Ybor City actually is one of the oldest cities in Tampa, next to Jacksonville and St. Augustine area. And Ybor City is one of those areas that is historical. That's where like the Cuban community was from. I feel like you're in a completely different city because of how it's historic it is.
Yeah, it's some great things to do. Tip number 8, transportation and infrastructure. You definitely gonna need a car here. Sorry.
Yeah, that's the sad reality. Well, depending on where you are, because we did mention the Midtown area, and we said that everything is like right around there. But if you want to get around, you're going to need a car. Tampa now expanding roadways and making things better, creating other options. That Selman Expressway extension that happened that kind of helped open things up. And with every new neighborhood that's being built, they're obviously expanding the roads. And so it's only a matter of time before it starts alleviating itself.
Yeah, I mean, there is public transportation, like bus lines. There's a Heart Line, which is mostly in the downtown area. But honestly, to get around in this area and where you want to visit, there is no direct line. So the best way is having a car. But there's a lot of great outlets to do. We could, the airport, for example, if you're a big flyer, it is probably one of the best airports to fly out of. Yes. It's also an international airport. But I can tell you, from all the airports that I've been to, it is probably one of the easiest to get in and out. I mean, they have some great bars inside and great food. And what they did is localize a lot of the small chain restaurants. They put them inside as well, which makes it very personal and true to what Tampa is.
Yeah. So for those of you that are constant flyers from a business perspective, you're in and out of your house 50% of the time or even more than that.
Or vacations.
Or that. And you're traveling alone, there's a separate section. Like you don't get off of your Uber or your car into an area where everyone else is, especially those, much larger parties. And you could just literally grab your bag and go to the terminal after if you have your boarding pass, because a lot of the stuff now is electronic. And so, it's a very easy transition. Tampa International now has been, I believe, rated one of the best airports in America. It's not the largest, all right, because I don't want to put that misconception out there. And if you have the opportunity to, and I definitely implore you to do this, follow them on Instagram, because their marketing strategy is hilarious. They are spot on when it comes to jokes and how they are, when it comes to that Tampa culture and sense of humor. It's hilarious. It's hilarious. You should follow them.
It's funny you say that. Kyle Barrett, one of our friends, shout out to Kyle, just did an episode in Tampa.
Nice.
They're going through, I don't know what the marketing is all about, but they are going through some rebranding. They were known as TPA. Now they're going to be known as TIA for Tampa International Airport. Chris, let's talk about the Port Authority over for ships.
Oh, that's the other thing. Another great point to make. Cruise lines come out of here. The 4 that come out of here is Norwegian, Margaritaville, Carnival, and Royal. That's the other one. Can't believe I forgot Royal. All 4 come out of the Tampa area. Much smaller ships. Not that small, but obviously not that big, because they do need to go under the Skyway Bridge, which is leaving out of the Tampa Bay area. But hey, if you want a quick weekend trip to go to Cancun, to go to one of the lesser Antilles Islands, you have it right there at your fingertips. And so that is a great option to know that you live in a port city like Tampa, and you're able to in a matter of a second get yourself on a ship and enjoy the weekend somewhere else just for a small amount of time.
Absolutely. Cruise lines offer some Florida residents discounts. Again, this port is also very easy to get in and out.
Yes.
On there. And the prices are pretty affordable, to be super transparent.
Yeah.
But you can also go across about an hour and a half, depending on where you live, to Port Canaveral, and you'll see the mega ships there. So not bad as well. And the mega ships also started doing 3 and 4 day. So I think Royal Caribbean's has the Utopia of the Sea, and then I think Disney has Wish.
Yeah.
Pretty amazing ships. So if you want like a quick getaway, hour and a half, you're on the other coastline, and boom, you're out of here. But the Tampa port, super easy to come in and out, very affordable, highly recommended. First mentioned the major cruise lines that are there, and there's a lot of talks of expanding that port as well.
Yeah, I think it'll definitely help. When you expand, that means more jobs, that means more visibility, and it's just a win-win for everybody.
And then I think we're at the final stages of getting the Bright Line approved. They're talking about how many stops it needs to get to. So the Bright Line right now is from the Miami area all the way to
Orlando. Yep.
In the Miami area, you could just jump on the Bright Line. Again, pretty affordable.
Yep. Save the miles on your car, take the train, and you'll be there in no time.
Definitely a great experience there.
Yeah.
Tip number 9. Let's talk about healthcare access.
Yep. Healthcare here is, I want to say, it's top notch. You can start with Tampa General Hospital. It has been rated the #1 hospital for consecutive years, and so that's a huge win for a lot of people here that live in the Tampa Bay area. You
got Avid Health. You got Moffitt Centers. There's a couple of new ones that are popping up as well, as kind of like at the suburbs area.
Yeah.
But I would say like probably one of the top-notch facilities when it comes to healthcare.
Yeah.
Versus when you kind of look at major cities, they've gone through a whole different infrastructure. They closed down for different reasons. I have not seen that in Tampa in the 20 plus years that I've lived here.
Not at all. You have a lot of world-class healthcare institutions here. Not only that, you have your much more smaller clinics. You also have your urgent care centers, your specialists. There's something for everybody here. And so if you want a second, third, fourth opinion on something that is ailing you, then you're in the right spot. So that's one of the great things about living here in Tampa, is knowing that you have definitely a lot of different options that you can go with. So great place when it comes to healthcare access.
Yeah. I don't think there's an access issue here. Even though after the pandemic, there's been some issues with trying to get appointments. We find it to be very accessible.
Absolutely. And like I said, there's tons of walk-in clinics that you can go to, tons of urgent cares. There's almost one in every corner. They're like Starbucks is here now. And so if you have an ailment or something that's wrong, you'll have access to that. So not to worry. Tip
number 10. And guys, we're almost there. 12 tips. And we're up to tip number 10, which is about pet friendlies.
Yes.
in Tampa Bay.
Yes. A very pet-friendly city, I might add. For the pet parents out there, tons and tons of to-dos. There's actually an activity log that I recently found that has activities in Tampa that you can do with your dog. I have a dog and I don't do such things, but I know that there's people out there that would love to do those things.
Is he a mean dog? I don't know.
Leave it in the comments. But there's tons of dog parks here in Tampa. There's tons of pet-friendly patios. There's even dog beaches. We have one in Fort DeSoto. We have another one on Davis Island. There's one called Picnic Island, I believe it is. That's in South Tampa as well. And so if you have a dog that likes to jump in the water and be in the beach and have that saltwater life, by all means, take them there and let them have fun. And so there's also on Sundays, I've also realized that you can go to your neighborhood Home Depot, your Lowe's. I mean, you're just doing whatever. And you'll see patrons going into the store with their little furry little friends. And it's just that type of environment down here. So it's a great thing because, again, a lot of people utilize and love to take their dogs everywhere, and so there's great activities to take advantage of. Not only that activity log, but also just on a regular week on a Sunday, you can take your dog out and have fun with them the same way you would if you were by yourself.
So Tampa is absolutely a friendly four-legged area.
Yeah, absolutely.
We love our pets.
They love their pets.
Tip number 11. Utilities and hidden costs. Tell me the real deal. What are we hiding?
A lot of the stuff people forget. Utility bills, your standard HOA fees, and your CDD fees.
I'll tell you utility. All right. Real deal here. Electric could get a little high, specifically in the summer, and depending how cold or comfortable you want it in your house.
Yep.
So for me, we're about 3,300 square feet, 2-floor. EV cars. I roughly run about $300 to $400 during the summer.
Yeah.
It gets a little bit better during the winter. It's closer to $200 because we're also part of a gas community, and gas is a lot cheaper.
Yeah.
So that definitely helps out when creating heat for our home.
Yeah.
Or running our jacuzzi. But utility, specifically electricity, is something that you should take a look at. I know when I came down from New York, it was definitely a big price difference. Of course, because you don't have to run that much power because of the weather. You have 4 seasons. Here, you maybe have 2. Maybe.
Yep. So when you purchase your home or you're getting ready to purchase a home, always remember to ask about your HOA fees, which are your homeowners association fees, and your CDD fees, which are your community district development fees. And what the CDD pays for is obviously how nice and beautiful your community looks. So your pool areas that are maintained, your roads that are maintained and things of that nature are all part of your CDD fees. Whereas your HOA fees, a little bit different. HOA fees are now just fees for all of the other stuff that your community has to offer as well.
The maintenance of the community. More commonly what's happening right now is that they're offering your internet package or your phone package,
which I enjoy. I actually like that. I don't have to worry about an extra bill. I got my internet already included into my HOA fees, which is something I pay a month anyway, and so it actually helps itself out. One less thing I need to think about. So definitely some of the things that you really need to think about when you're purchasing down here in Florida.
I think that's something that absolutely helps make sure your community is always looking in good shape. Right? They can also be kind of hold the law down in your community. So if someone is in your community across the street, maybe is not upholding their grass the way it should be, that's where they come in to make sure they hold them accountable. So you don't have to get involved, right? Or you don't have to call the police. So that's pretty good. But there's also tons of communities that do not have HOA, do not have CED.
Right.
So if that's important to you, let us know.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, there's something for everyone, like we mentioned before.
Tip number 12.
Seasonal adaptation tips.
Talked a little bit about these things before. Know about the weather. Know when it's going to be hot.
Yes.
You don't want to do something foolish I've done before. Go on a 50-mile bike ride at 3 p.m. You're going to not be hydrated. Your stations are going to be out of water. And you don't want to be that guy stuck out there without no energy because you might be having sunblock, but that's about it.
Yeah.
So you're going to work out, do a little bit early, go in the evening, right? You want that family walk or that dog walk. Do it evening, early morning, whatever. If you're an early riser, get up early. If not, do a little bit later. Rainy season, make sure you have the umbrella. It may help sometimes, or you might need a raincoat. And then sunscreen, super important, especially if you're going to be outdoor.
Oh, yeah.
Versus being indoor. You always want to make sure you protect areas in your body, your arms, your head.
Yeah. I mean, I'd like to say you'll learn and adapt quickly. And I think as human beings, we all do that. These are just the tips that you can do, obviously, off the back that will help you out on your journey coming down to Florida. But we say that for a purpose because, it can get ugly out there because you're still stuck in your mindset of how you used to do things back home. And so when you come down here to Florida, it's just a little bit of an adjustment so that way you don't find yourself in bits of trouble. So the wearing the breathable clothing, the hydrating yourself is super important because remember, when you sweat, you're losing, critical, electrolytes from your body and things of that nature. So it's super important to keep yourself hydrated, especially if you're going to find yourself outside. If you're inside of your house, you don't have to worry about any of this stuff. It's mostly if you're outside, if you're looking to have a little bit more of an active lifestyle. And then also remember, the other part of this is going to be the hurricane season prep. Preparation really doesn't start when hurricane season starts. Hurricane preparation starts way before hurricane season. And so stock up on little things here and there, whether it be, batteries, whether it be one of those battery powered radios, whether it be, solar powered batteries to get your cell phone going. That way you don't lose power for your phones. Just those little things that you need to do throughout the year to kind of get yourself ready so that when hurricane season does start, you're already done with half of the stuff that you need to get. And so, when you really get the warning sign of there's a possibility, you're going for the more bulkier stuff in sense of non-perishables and things of that nature. So it's super, super important to prepare. And that's what Florida is all about when it comes to preparation.
I would agree. Going back to clothing, flip-flops, that's your thing. You're probably going to get a couple more. Coats, you're probably going to get rid of unless you're traveling often to the colder states.
Just hold on to them.
But my sweater game, it got extended because believe it or not, even though you're in Florida, very often you're in indoor facilities. Yeah. And the ACs are cranked up high.
Yeah. Believe it or not, Tampa, Florida has reached below freezing levels when it comes to temperatures. People don't believe me, but it has. We've hit 30 degrees, 27 degrees. Now, granted, it's an anomaly. This is not something that happens often. But whenever there's a cold spell, Tampa does feel it. And so
it does get a little colder.
It gets a little cold. So you may want to hold on to a couple of your sweaters. So don't get rid of your winter stuff just yet.
I did. I threw it out 6 months after I got here.
I didn't. It was too much. I still got mine because I'm not spending more money on, because those things are expensive, man. Those things are super expensive. Those big bulky jackets, I love them too. And no, I'm not. You ain't going to find me paying regular price for a big bubble jacket. No.
So we just shared 12 tips with you guys. Tell us what you think. Are you still going to move down here? Be honest.
Say yes. Say yes, because we did.
And if you say yes, and you need a realtor to find where you need to be, where to live, please choose us. Yes. We'll be honored to help you in this journey.
Absolutely. Honestly, that's what matters to us because we wish we had someone that was giving us this information prior to us getting here. But we walked in here with blinders on. And it's not that it was terrible, but it would have been nice to have someone kind of give you that perspective of what to expect when you move down here to Florida. And so this is what we're doing, paying it forward.
Thank you so much for staying this long with us. It means a lot. You heard earlier, our goal is to hit 1,000 subscribers. So if you haven't yet, please subscribe. Please drop a comment. We would love to know if these tips were helpful. Or if you're a resident down here and there's a tip that you feel that we missed or a fact that we missed, drop in the comments. If you have a better steakhouse, I would like to know.
Yes.
We didn't go into Mexican, but if you have a Mexican restaurant that you like, let us know.
Drop it in the comments.
We would love to experience that. We've been going back and forth and kind of maybe doing some of our podcasts or some of this interview stuff, and maybe going to a restaurant and kind of doing this to share with you guys at home. So
I don't mind.
Please let us know. We love food, and you already know Chris is the closer.
Yes.
The cookie guy.
Yep.
Sips with Chris.
Absolutely.
He's here.
Find me on Instagram, Chris the Closer 1, on TikTok under the same handle, as well as those are my handles. And if you have any questions or if you have anything funny you want to say, you'll see all of my content there. And find me. follow me as well.
We'll put all that information in our description below. You'll find tons of incredible information from a buyer's guide, a seller's guide. If you want an evaluation for your home, if you want a cash deal for your home,
Yes.
Give us links to some other YouTube channels that we have or social media. There's tons of great content in the descriptions. So it means the world to us. Thank you so much for hanging out with us. And until next week,
See you.
see ya.